I was working for the local county government in California, California government office. I was doing technology as well. So government, technology, California. Those three things are definitely not going away. So the most secure job I could ever get. I'll fast forward the story. I actually kind of paint a bigger picture of everything that happens in the last episode. But what happened was I literally was planning my life around my job, my career. And most of us do that. Most of us, we're taught from the beginning of when we're born, you go to school, you get good grades, and you get those good grades and you go to college, you get in thousands and thousands of dollars into debt. And then you get good grades again, you try to get a piece of paper. It's a degree, and you go around and go to other businesses and try to get a job. I did that. I followed that just like everybody else. Well, I'll jump to the punchline, but if you want to hear the full story, you definitely listen to the episode. But I literally, after my fourth child was born, literally 2 weeks later, I go on paternity leave. When I get back, I get laid off from my job, my most stable, perfect job. Exactly. And from that point forward, I realized that what I was doing, people would ask me the question, Dustin, what do you do? And we all get this question. What do you do? When we answer that, usually, and this is what I did, I work for the county government. I do IT work. And, I project my value is being in my job. Well, my value doesn't come from my job. My value comes from my God, from myself, and from my family. Well, what I really realized, literally that same, 20 minutes after I got laid off, I was sitting at my desk and I was contemplating, what in the world am I going to do? And then I realized I've always wanted to be an investor. I had one property and life got in the way. So I stopped and I said, you know what? I'm never going to let anything stop me again. And I'm going to make sure that this never happens to me again. I'm going to make sure that nobody can take away my ability to feed my family. So right then and there, I started telling every single person, I made a commitment to myself. I am an investor. That's what I am. If somebody asks me, what do I do? I'm an investor. It may so happen that 100% of my money comes from my job. That's now my part-time job. I am a full-time investor. So fast forward the story, started buying property after property, each one making me $250 or more in passive income. And I started back in 2006, all through the crash and everything, kept buying properties. Nothing affected me because the crash didn't affect me. Now the values went down, but I didn't care. This is generational wealth. I'm going to literally give these properties to my 4 kids. And I made money whether the market went up, market went down, or the market went sideways. Now I'm making more than $250. That's the minimum. Some of them making $500, $600, $700, $800 a month in passive income after 30 plus properties. I was like, man, why would I ever work again? So blessed, praise the Lord, to be able to be successfully unemployed. I love that term. And now with that, I had so many friends, family members, friends from church ask me, how did you do it? What did you do? And I'm a real estate investor. And they would always ask me, the second question comes really quickly. Can you show me how to do it? And then I started teaching friends one-on-one, and they started quitting their jobs because they had properties. And I realized, oh my goodness, I actually like doing this. So I was 37 years old, quit my job, had extra time. I was like, I got to start doing something. So I started writing books and a podcast and all that sort of stuff. And that's where we're fast forwarding to now is I have so many people in my audience from my podcast and YouTube and coaching and all that sort of stuff that I thought, you know what? They were asking me, sorry, I didn't think this. My students said, Dustin, we want a meetup. We want to get together. We're friends online. We have our networking at our community that we have for all my students. And they said, we want to meet up. And I thought, wow, that's a good idea. But a meetup is a lot of work. And if I'm going to do it, I don't do anything halfway. I do everything as best as I could. So I thought, if I'm going to put together an event, let's make it a big conference. And there also another big reason why I decided to make a big conference was not to most real estate conferences, they're sales pitches. They're literally all hype. And then they say, now run to the back. And it's normally $1 billion to join our program, but now it's only $5,000 for you to join today or something like that. It's just something ridiculous. That's absolutely the opposite of what I wanted to create. I wanted to create a community. In fact, what I wanted was something that I would be able to benefit from when I was starting out. There was nothing like this. In fact, there weren't any podcasts or YouTube channels or, Kirby with you living off rentals. They didn't have any of that stuff when I first started. I was all by myself. It was so hard. I almost gave up a number of times because it was so hard. I was doing it by myself. All my friends, they didn't know what I was talking about. They thought it was crazy. But not everybody in the world, like in the entire United States, there's so many people that invest. So fast forward to now, people like you, Kirby, awesome people like you that are genuine people that want to give, err on the side of serving and giving. I started calling up all my friends because I've been podcasting, YouTubing for a while. And with that, I've made a lot of friends, real estate investors who, let's say, syndication or land investing, storage units, Airbnb, like you, Kirby, I run the gamut of all types of investing. I have lots of friends. And so I started calling all of them. I said, hey, I have an idea of building a community. And it just so happens we have a conference that we come together every year. Would you want to be a part of it? Would you want to bring your community with you to meet my community? And we can create one huge investor community. Fast forward, 28 speakers, including yourself. Because honestly, Kirby, it was when you were on my show, I was like, man, this Kirby's a good guy. I want to bring him on. I want to bring him to REWBCON. Well, first, I think I brought you. No, I was on your show. And then I was like, you know what? How about you come on my show? And then after that, I said, hey, you would be awesome. You'd be a perfect fit for REWBCON, because if you guys, everybody listening to your show, Kirby, and then so you, whoever's listening to us right now, you know Kirby, you know his personality, you know he wants to give, he wants to err on the side of helping other people, and that's the type of people that I invite to be a speaker. In fact, the only speakers that we have, in fact, we have 35 speakers now. We had 28 last year. We have 35 speakers now, and they're only by invite only that would actually fit the community. I'll be completely honest. There are, and Kirby, I'm telling you this, there are a number of people that want to speak at REWBCON, but they just don't fit. Now, it's nothing wrong with them. They just don't fit the community vibe. And so if you vibe with Kirby, then hopefully you'll vibe with me, because Kirby and I get along, at least I think we get along very, very well. But that's the community that we want to build, is what I didn't have when I first started investing back in 2006. When I was 37 years old, I was able to quit my job and start doing all of this now. And so fast forward to now, we're building, and it's not networking. It's definitely not, because I personally find that networking has a connotation of like, it's a win-lose situation, or you try to make a win-win with other people, which you definitely want to do that when you're networking. If it's a win-lose, it's not networking, it's just taking. And so I realized that the networking is not what we want, or it's good. Don't get me wrong. Networking is fine, but what we need, not what we want, but what we need is community. What we need is other people around us that have either done it before, like Kirby and all the other speakers who have done it before, that have proven business models, and other people who are starting out or in the middle, or they have a number of properties. We want a community of people where we can all help each other to number one, grow, to learn, to get past roadblocks, to pass along deals. In fact, I'll pause, because I definitely want to talk about the successes that have happened. So many. I've been blessed to hear lots of successes from REWBCON coming from there. But my students that come to me for rental properties, they're saying, hey, I also want Airbnb, or I want short-term properties. So like, Kirby's your man. You start talking to Kirby. They go over and start working with you. And so it's all where we all help each other out. What I try to find is a win-win-win. Everybody's winning, and everybody is blessed by this big community. So last year we had over 200 attendees, 28 speakers, 15 sponsors that were services that we actually use in our businesses. I just didn't take anybody's money. I said, no, are you something that would benefit the attendees? That's the end goal, is to benefit the attendees. This year, fast forward, it'll be in May 4th through the 6th of 2023. And with that, I'm hoping for 600 attendees. We're going to have, right now we have 35 speakers. So I got to figure out how to logistically place all that. And then sponsors that are there to help you in your business. So that's the big broad overview of me and the Real Estate Wealth Builders Conference. And I would love everybody to join us at the conference. And before you get to the end, because I usually wait till the end to give out something, but if you go to the Real Estate Wealth Builders Conference, and I'm sure you'll put in the description, but REWBCON.com, that's the, REWBCON.com, that's the abbreviation. If you use the promo code Kirby, it'll give you $10 off. Sorry, $10. That's not nearly enough. 10% off your entire ticket, whichever level you buy. There's a VIP where you can literally hang out with all the speakers and all that stuff. But yeah, use the promo code Kirby and it'll get you 10% off of your ticket. And it is looking to be like, I am blessed just by being able to hang around all my friends again, 35 of us, and help so many people.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I've had so many previous guests on this podcast as a result of REWBCON, since REWBCON. And, I think in the intro, I've said it at least probably 7 or 8 times with guests like, oh, we met as a result of both attending REWBCON. So I learned so much just from the people I met, the deals I did, and the opportunities that were created. I think it was. I mean, I highly recommend it for everybody who's listening to this. And like you said, it's not a pitch fest, which I've been doing this for about 12 years now, and I've learned a lot of, especially early on, a lot of what I know from conferences. The problem was that there was a lot of conferences that I went to where it was that high pressure sales, run to the back of the room, and we're going to make you feel terrible about yourself unless you buy this thing. And, you have opportunities for attendees to tap into products and resources there if it aligns with their goals, but there's none of that high pressure stuff there. It's like, it's just, you're there, like you said, to build your network and to become a better investor. And everyone kind of comes in with that mindset, and it shows through. I think it starts with the founder of the conference. So I appreciate you putting that together. I do want to hear a bit more about some of the success stories that have come out of it. And maybe what results could somebody expect if they're thinking about attending?
So we'll start with the results. And then we'll definitely get into the testimonies or the things that have come out of for the attendees. Actually, let me take one more giant step. So during the conference this year, so it was 2022 when we had it in March. During the conference, I would go up to people. That my personality is actually, I'm also kind of thinking of changing. When I would tell everybody I'm an investor, I'm going to start telling everybody I'm a servant now. Like, I just want to serve as many people as possible. So I would go up to any attendee, like just random person that I just, hey, you're walking by. Hey, how are you doing? How is there anything I can help you with? And honestly, I kid you not, Kirby, 100% without provocation. Like, I didn't even ask, like, what do you think about the conference? 100% of the attendees said, Dustin, we are going to come back next year. This is amazing. I'm going to bring my family, my kids, or my brother, or my neighbor who wants to invest. I'm going to be bringing more people. You better do it again. Because I told everybody, hey, this is a one-time thing unless my wife says it's okay to go ahead, because it's like $500,000 that I'm guaranteeing in order to put on this conference. If it doesn't work out, I got to answer to my boss, my wife. And so because everything worked out so well, I was talking to my wife like the last day, and I said, hey, babe, what do you think about doing it again? She said, okay, I think you can. It worked out very, very well. We were blessed not to lose money on this deal, this conference, because usually I've been told by lots and lots of people who have conferences, you're going to lose money on your first one. Like, just accept it, but you'll grow the next one. Praise the Lord. We basically a little bit more than even, which was nice. So I didn't lose money into this situation. She said, go ahead and do it again. So everybody was asking me, can we do it again? The speakers like you, Kirby, as well as the sponsors were saying, we wanted you to do it again. And so okay, we're going ahead and do it again. And so that was just reaffirmation in the conference itself, like while we're there, that I need to do it again. And then looking at the results, like if somebody's going to come to the conference, because then I'll get to like the outcomes of other people, attendees that have showed up and have changed their lives with REWBCON. So what you can expect are a number of things. Number one, the biggest thing is community. The biggest thing is being around other like-minded people. I'll tell you, I'm an investor. Like, I literally am an investor. I invest in real estate. And in my realm of influence, with me also telling all my friends and people at church and everybody, I don't even think I can count maybe one other person that's actually an investor. And from right now, I could think of, other than the students that I've already coached, it was like just one person, because it's hard to find the right people that are the same type of giving mindset, not the takers. When you come across a taker, it's like they're punching you in the face with their taking personality. And so what you can expect, number one, is a community of other like-minded people that want to see everybody succeed, because it's not a zero-sum game where everybody, like, one person wins and one person loses. No, I found the more people that I serve, the more people that I help, the better my life gets and the better everybody else's life gets, if we can create win-win-wins with that. So the community is definitely one you can expect. Number two, amazing education. Like, we're going to be doing breakout sessions and keynote speeches where most of them, like I said, for real estate, it's a pitch fest. Run to the back or go give us money. And that's how it normally is. not at REWBCON. We're all about educating and coaching. We're gonna have people, even like accountants come and lawyers come and people for like Airbnb, like you, Kirby. Also for anybody who's military, I'm creating, or hopefully, Lord willing, going to be able to create a track, basically a set number of breakout sessions that are for the military. It's called the Military Wealth Builders. And if you're in the military, if you're a veteran, if you're active, if you're a part of that, there's so many benefits. There's so many things you can do to invest right now. We want to help you to learn that. So what you're going to be learning, number one is community. Number two, you're going to be learning great quality education, people like Kirby and all the other amazing speakers. Another thing, along with the community and the education, you're also going to be around all of these speakers, all of these people. You're going to see different ways to invest. I love rental properties, like long-term buy and hold rental properties. I'm going to give these properties to my kids. They're generational wealth creation. Now, with that, I am not a syndicator. I don't want to syndicate properties. I don't want to teach anybody how to invest in land. I don't want to, I don't want to do all that stuff like storage unit. No, I invest in land. I invest in storage units. I invest in syndications, but I am not an expert. I'm not going to coach that. But you're going to get other people who are amazing real estate investors doing different ways to invest. And you're going to say, hey, I like this. I'm already getting this under my feet. I'll give you one example. One of my students, Sean and Roberta, they're a fantastic couple. They are my students. They've been buying properties. They're growing. And then going to REWBCON, they're like, hey, I like Kirby. And I was listening to him talk about short-term properties. I want to do short-term rental properties. I said, Kirby's your man. Go ahead and do that. And so they have blessed now where they now have their rental properties, long-term buy and hold properties. They also started investing in short-term properties as well. And their first short-term property is now doing fantastic. I talked to them, they're one of my one-on-one coaching students. So it's doing really, really well for them. So you can expect to have your mind opened up to different possibilities of, let's say you're a land investor, other ways to invest in land, like that's a given, but then other ways to invest, period. All the great ways to invest, and people who have created systems like myself. I created a system to share with my students how to do it, to rip out all the wrong things that I've done, all the mistakes that I've done so that they're not in the system, but keeping all the good things, and all of our years of experience in coaching, in teaching people how to do this, so that we see success, so we emulate that. We help everybody to continue to grow in that. So that's what you can absolutely expect, when you come to the Real Estate Wealth Builders Conference. So I'll pause because I can definitely jump into some outcomes that I've had from attendees, but you probably have some more questions or more ideas to talk about.
Yeah.